go.
All right, Shalom Aleichem, everybody, once again. So we're in the middle of Tanya, the Holy Tanya. We're very excited. Thursday night, I'm getting ready for the Heilige Yom Tov, Yutas Kislev, Chag HaGeula. We all feel, anybody that's been listening to the shir this last week, this Prakum of Tanya, we feel already a big geula, a big redemption in our soul. With all of the gewaldige eitzes, all that unbelievable chizuk, and how to deal with the Yetzer Hara, and how to overcome, and how to stay happy, and how to stay focused, and all the beautiful advice and practicality of how to stay focused and in tune to the Eibishter. We already have a shaykhis to this big Chag HaGeula. It's already a Yom Tov for us as well, because we've been taken out of our captivity through the unbelievable kedusha of the Heilige Sefer, the Tanya Kadisha, giving us the eitzes and the advice how to conquer our Yetzer Hara. Tonight is also the Yahrzeit of the Heilige Tzaddik, the grandson of the Holy Baal Shem Tov, the Holy Rabbi from Eshbish, who wrote a sefer called Betzina de Nohira, huge, very big sefer. And then Shabbos is also the Yahrzeit of the Heilige Maggid of Mizrich. So before we continue, I just want to bring in a little a piece, a Dvar Torah from the Heilige Maggid of Mizrich, which is mamish in the Imyone de Yoma, in the topic of discussion that we've been discussing and learning in Tanya. And actually, as we learn the piece, we'll see that this is as if you guys remember, we were talking about if Chas v'Chalila, a person's mind gets infiltrated with inappropriate thoughts. So the Holy Baal Tanya, together with all the tzaddikim like Reb Nachman and the Bnei Sascha, they all say our job is not to try to find the source of the leak in our holiness where this might have fallen from. It was false loves or it was false fears. Our job is not to do that. Our job is to just push it out of our mind, not to try to delve in, to try to figure out, where did this come from? Let me try to figure out where my avodah and rochnius and spirituality did I have some kind of leak or some kind of pagam, and where I made a blemish, that from there this kind of thought might have came. That is the avodah of the big tzaddikim, like the Baal Shem Tov, the Maggid, the big true tzaddikim meeting. They were able, if they had a fallen thought, they were able to track where it might have came from. Like the Baal Tanya already said, not most probably for sure, and even come from their own faults. It might have came from the people that are connected to them's faults, but they have a way how to be able to figure out. And we see the Maggid is going to mention that avodah, but again, for us, our avodah is, if the Yetzer Hara infiltrates, we whack him silly and throw him away. We just, no time in Hebrew they're called masa and matan, like in a business-like activity. Okay, welcome, shalom, peace treaties, let's work it out. No, we don't deal with Hamas. They come in, we just knock them out of the field, throw them out. No, that's it. So, Mamish, what we're saying, so the Heilige Maggid says an unbelievable taich, an unbelievable translation, and the pasuk later on, not in this Chumash, but in Chumash Devarim, of Parashas Kiseitze LaMulchama. When the Torah is talking about going out to a Mulchamas Rishus, a permitted war that we're supposed to fight for the sake of the land of Israel, for meaning Eretz Yisrael. So Kiseitze LaMulchama, says the Holy Maggid of Mizrich, the Heilige Tzaddik, the Holy Tzaddik, the Heilige Maggid of Doiv Ben Avram, the main disciple of the Holy Baal Shem Tov. Actually, very interesting to know. I will mention it because it's already almost the Yahrzeit. Tomorrow night, Shabbos Kodesh is the Yahrzeit of the Holy Maggid. Whoa, Mamish, he's the stream of the Torah, the Holy Baal Shem Tov. So there's a story that the Frierdiker Lubavitcher Rebbe, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, the sixth, Rabbi Yossi Yitzchak, brings down in his Sefer Azachronis, in his book, that he brought down all the memories that he had, everything that he had, a collection of all different types of memoriam. How would you say it? Memoriam, like everything that's the right word of bringing down. That's called the Sefer Azachronis, of everything he had, the Kabbalah memoir from all the way from the Baal Shem Tov all the way through his life. So you're right. So they're a fascinating story, which we mamish see that the Holy Maggid was the true successor of the Holy Baal Shem Tov. The Holy Baal Shem Tov had a son, a great, huge, tremendous tzaddik by the name of Rav Tzvi. Rav Tzvi, the son of the Baal Shem Tov. As is very custom, after the Holy Baal Shem Tov passed away on Shavuos, Reb Tzvi became the Rebbe. He became the successor. He was a great holy man. On the first yahrzeit of the Holy Baal Shem Tov, the following Shavuos, all the Chassidim and all the great Talmidim of the Holy Baal Shem Tov gathered together. And Reb Tzvi, was the Rebbe, walks in, and as he comes to this place, he makes a proclamation that my father came to me last night and told me, my dear son, Chassidus will not spread through you, only through my Talmud, the Holy Maggid. So I'm asking you to please give over the rights. And the Holy Reb Tzvi walked in and took off his white begotten, that was what the Rebbes used to wear, put it on the chair and called up the Maggid, that he said the Maggid already knew that he was supposed to be a successor. Reb Tzvi sat down like a chassid. Greatness from Reb Tzvi, Imam, you can imagine, all being Rebbe, just like that. He had great descendants. His children became big Rebbes, but that was it. The rest of his life, he was like, no, I'm not a Rebbe, I'm supposed to be a chassid of the Holy Maggid, you know what I mean? But his children were great Rebbes. But the Maggid already knew that it was through his tafkid to continue spreading and teaching the Chassidus, and the Holy Baal Shem Tov was so attached and so mamish, I don't know what the right word is, and the most awesomest love and connection to the Holy Maggid, that is actually a story with the Holy Tanya, which also, this is a Chag HaGeula. Everybody knows the story that the Tanya had his payas made on the lap of the Baal Shem Tov. When he turned 3, which is custom Chassidim, to start making, you cut the hair in order to leave the payas. So the Rav Baruch, the father of the Holy Baal Tanya, was a chassid of the Baal Shem Tov, and he said, let me go to my Rebbe. And he went with his wife and his sister to the Holy Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov really didn't want to make the upshare. He didn't want to make the pace, he didn't want to do that, avoid it. And Baruch like, what do you mean? Please, you blessed us to have the son. Now that we have him, we're holding by bringing him into the years of chinuch, of giving him the right proper chinuch. Please do this. So he said, I'll make you one deal. I'm going to cut his hair, I'll make his pace, but right after, please send him home and tell your wife not to tell him who I am. Baruch was full of feeling. Hey, why? I want you to teach my son, give him over. And that's what happened. He went on the Heilige lap of the Baal Shem Tov. Shem Tov made his cut of his hair, left him beautiful payas, and Rabbi said, take him. And on the way home, the whole time the Baal Tanya kept on asking his mother. He's like, who was that? Who was that? And they made like they didn't hear him, they ignored him, until after a while he forgot. And then, but all the way back to the first time, so the Heilige Baruch was mamish crying. He said, Baal Shem Tov, Rabbi, what happened? He said, your son's soul is shaykh to my Talmud Maggid. If he's going to know who I am, and he's going to want to learn from me, he'll never be able to accept from my Talmud, because he's only going to want to come to me. And his soul is shaykh to the Maggid. That's from the Torah of the Maggid is how he's going to become great, not from me. He's shaykh to the Maggid. So therefore, I was mamish. I didn't want him to, but he pushed. I made him the pace, and he got all the blessings. But then I wanted him to forget about me. That later, when he was looking for a Rebbe, he'll be able to accept from the Maggid, and the Maggid was able to build up the Baal Tanya to produce the Shulchan Aruch Harav and the Holy Tanya. So here we connect Baruch Hashem, both of these great tzaddikim, all these great holy tzaddikim in one. So he says like this, the Holy Maggid. When a person is going, and now he's using it, in our life. When a person has to go fight a war, again, the pasuk is talking about when Klal Yisrael is going to fight a milchama surishus. But the Heilige Maggid is saying, when does the milchama happen? That happens kiseitze, when a person leaves the dveikus of Hashem, when a person leaves being completely in contemplation, right, and in connection and dveikus and attachment, that his machshava, his thought process, his mind, his essence is thinking and connecting to the Eibishter. When you leave that state, buddy, you're in trouble. When a person stops thinking about the Eibishter, that's when the milchama starts. Milchama Yetzer Hara. A person that stays connected and focused the whole time refocuses. Kisei Tzadik Aleph as well. Tzadik Aleph refers to 90 is the number of 91. 91 is the equation of the names of the Yud Kei Vav Kei with Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, the way that you say it and read it. So Kiseitze, when a person leaves this dveikus of being focused completely in the Eibishter, you might have big trouble. You might have war. So what's the Eitzah? Why is that? Because a person is going into the olam of Pirud. Pirud means the world where things are, the world of separation. We're not in the olam of Yichud. When a person might think that there's two elements in the world, maybe there's a great God up above, but this world's party hardy, you know what I mean? It looks fun. When a person doesn't realize that the whole world is Yichud Hashem, the up and the down and everything, it's all one. So when a person goes into there, when a person leaves that Dveikus, that's the yichud of Havaya Adna. Say when a person leaves the Tzadik Aleph, which is taking the name of Hashem, which is written and said, two aspects of Havaya and Adna, which is the ultimate yichud, right? The union of Hashem's name. When you unite the whole essence of the Bria to be Hashem, when a person leaves that, then you're going to come to trouble. Because then you've entered the world of Pirud. You start seeing things in your own mind, which is part of Bechira. And what happens? The Pasuk tells us, right? You took captive one of the beautiful women that looked very attractive to you. And as you remember the Pasuk, you want to marry her. First, that Tanya says, lock her up in a room, let her grow her hair, let her shave her hair, make her nails grow long, right? But the Nakud is, what happened all of a sudden that you found this beautiful woman? That's because you left the world of Vegas. You started thinking, okay, very nice, Vegas is great, but hey, there's also Yetzirah activity, you know what I mean? There are some good typists out there. And therefore, a person got in trouble. And what happens is, where did all this come from? The Gashmi, a person's getting caught up in his Gashmis, right? A person's getting caught up in his Gashmis. He's starting to realize, oh man, there's a lot of activity. Not the two-non activity, when a person is realizing that I'm falling to the traps of the Yetzirah. I was mamish in a complete straight path of Kedusha, and I was working. Even the Yetzirah came to show me an Eishes Ifas Tire. It didn't ignite any temptation because I'm focused. I know that I don't want that. I'm not focused that this is all the plan of the Eibishter, why he's tempting me in order to bring me to greatness, in order, for me to push him away. Like Tanya said, that it could be that's my avoid in the world, but I'm not following through. The second that I'm following through with the thought, I'm like, that's what the Taiva has to say, because I left the Dveikus. That's when a person starts falling into big problems. That comes from Shvira, like we know, Shvira Sakelim, where all of a sudden there was sparks of Kedusha that fell into the Bria. And a person, instead of picking it up and bringing it into the Dveikus, might chas v'chalila want to kidnap that spark and follow chas v'chalila the ways of the Yetzirah, instead of lifting it into the right place. And by how do we uplift it? We uplift it by ignoring the Yetzirah. That's enough for us. Tzaddikim were able to uplift it, like we said earlier. They were able to go into the machshava. Why did this machshava come to me? I'm trying to be in Dveikus, or I'm trying to be in a good place. But we ourselves, usually like the Baal Tanya said, how do we know that it's the difference between tzaddikim and simple people? Because the tzaddikim, we believe and we know that our true masters, they're not in the world of taiva. So if it fell to them something, machshava, so we know clearly it doesn't have to do with them because they're not involved at all in that activity. But that hamoinam, pshutayam, everybody else, the beinanim as the Baal Tanya calls them, we're still swimming in both worlds. Yes, b'shas tefillah, b'shas kriya shema, b'shas avoda, we're flying with the Eibishter. But when we're not there, we're stuck in taiva. Regular people, that's over here, but we're working. So therefore, because we still have one foot in the mud, so therefore we can't start playing that with the other foot. We're trying to climb heights when we're stuck in the mud. You can't climb heights if you've got the other foot in the mud. So our idea is just push away. But that's the thing when if a person stays in the Dveikus, then even if the Yetzirah comes to him, you're not falling because you understand that right now I don't want this. I want Yichud Hashem. I want union of the Eibishter. I want to be close to him. That was a word from the Heilige Maggid. So now that we introduced this word of the Maggid, let's get back into this holy Parak of Tanya. And the Nakuda is like this. We were just finishing yesterday a very unbelievable, everybody had a big chizuk of how a person is supposed to give a beating to his Yetzirah. Beat him up. Curse him out. How? So Baal Tanya said, the Gemara says, La'olam yargiz adam, Yetzir tov al Yetzir hara. Person should get his Yetzir tov angry over his Yetzir hara. Yetzir is making me crazy. He's coming at me at all corners. So what do I got to do? How do I put him into his place? I give him a whipping. How? I curse him out. I scream at him. Why do I call him? I have to literally, he says in my mind that, and if a person wants to do this, not, for real, you go lock yourself in the room and you tell the Yetzer Hara, Atara, you're bad, for Russia, you're evil, Meshuketz, I'm disgusting, Tuv, you're thickened with disgust, Nuvel, you're perverted. Well, I'm just screaming at him, like all the names that Gemara and Chazal call the Yetzer Hara. Let him hear it. Give it over to him. What are you, crazy? What are you blocking the light of Hashem that's in my soul? Why are you blocking it that I shouldn't be able to attain it and see Hashem in everything? Why are you selling me nonsense and non-truth? But why are you blocking the vision that Hashem is Maloich HaLeretz Gevoidem and Malik Halam, that the light of Hashem fills up the whole world? Why are you going in front of me and making this trick with your hands that I shouldn't see it? Get away! Come on! Out of my way! Right? And then when a person mamish gives the Yetzer Hara, it's called bitush. Bitush means I'm smashing, like he said. Imagine you guys making a campfire, we said. Right? This is what he brings from the Zohar Kodesh, an example. And you can't ignite that big log in order to make it, burn nicely. So what do? You whack it, you chip it a little bit, and the small chips will turn on, and then hopefully we'll get the big log ignited. He said the same thing if my stone heart is like a log, it's not turning on, it's not igniting for Hashem. The illumination of my soul is not bright, I'm not feeling it. It's like a big log, a big stone that I can't, so what do? You got to chip it. How do you chip it? You got to break it. How do you break it? By giving him over the head, by letting him hear it. Letting him hear it. And we said that this is after a person tried all different types of tricks. He even tried the trick to cry out to Hashem and say, Bani Shalom, please, I'm your son, have Rahmanas in me, all I want to do is serve you. Why is it so? A person can't even come to that. I'm so in the dumps, I'm so unlit, I can't even do that tefillah. So then you have to take it out, mamish, put on your red boxing glove, and go have it with your Yetzer Hara. Mamish, whack him silly. And he says, how do we even see, says the Balatani, that this trick works? This was up to yesterday. We see by the Meraglim. The Meraglim, they went way off the edge. Why? Because it says by the Meraglim, right, by those 10, it was from each of us 12, but 2 of them were okay, Caleb and Yeshua. By the 10 leaders that went to scout out Eretz Yisrael and spy out, they said when they came back, part of the Lashon Hara was, what does it say? That they're stronger than Mimenu from us. But what they mean, Chazal say, Mimenu, they meant that these guys in Canaanite and Canaan, they're stronger than God. That was part of the Lashon Hara. They're telling the people, like, they're so strong, these guys, they lost their Amunah. They went crazy. Like, what? These guys are stronger than Hashem. So what did the Abish to say? And then later they said, they retracted their words. They retracted, we're going to be able to go up. Then when they found that they're in big trouble, that they're doomed forever, all of a sudden it says, and now they're like, no, we're going to go back up, we'll fight them. And it says when they got killed, listen, Moshe, it's like, no, it's too late. But all of a sudden what changed? Right? They got all inspired that they could. So Tanya says, because they had the avoid of Bitush, what happened? Batishnle, they got smashed. How they get smashed? They made big trouble. They're such holy souls. They're the door that left Mitzrayim. They're the greatest masters. They have such light in their neshama. What happened? How they get so extinguished that they went in kfira? The Yetzer Hara went and blocked out their emunah. Blocked out the Yetzer Hara came. They got caught up in some type of activity, right? They fell into yush, right? Like, we can't do this by ourselves. So Yetzer Hara came and mamish like whack, extinguished their light. How did the Abish to bring back the light? Moshe Rabbeinu gave them over the head. Moshe Rabbeinu gave them over the head. He beat them up with words. He's like, what did he say? He said that the Abish promised that you guys are not coming into the land anymore. Yeah, he gave them very sharp words. He said how the Abish is so angry at them. He said very sharp words like the Psukim call out over there. And what happened? After the sharp words that were given over, all of a sudden they changed, like, no, we're going to go back, we're going to fight them, we're going to go and conquer it. All of a sudden they had a big light in their soul that they want, no, all of a sudden we believe we could do it. Even though, again, they fell because of Eretz Yisrael, they didn't listen to Moshe Rabbeinu at that point, and those that went ended up getting killed. But the Nakuda was, all of a sudden everything, all of a sudden, no, we could do it. From Kent, that they had bigger than the Eibishter, because sharp words, when a person knows how to humbleize his gashmius, his chelik nefesh habahamis, the Yetzer Hara, and knows how to put him down and even embarrass him. So all of a sudden the Yetzer Hara does get shooken up. The Yetzer Hara gets shooken up. Because we have to remember, like he's going to see at the end now, what does it say? He quotes the famous words of the Zohar HaKadosh. The Zohar HaKadosh says a very famous mashal. What's the mashal? The mashal is about the Yetzer Hara. That there was a king that had one and only child and wanted to see how much that child really loves him. He's going to be a successor. He's going to be, he's giving him over his whole, the whole kingdom. How much does my son really love me? So what happened? So the king had a great idea. How much is he loyal to the ways of the royal kingdom? Is he an upright justice fellow? Does he know how to control himself? So he sent, in lack of better words, a prostitute to chase the son of the king. And Imam had a very, it wasn't easy. That's a gorgeous woman chasing him all over. But he knew in the royal family, it's not the way you do things. You have to stay righteous. And what happened? When he proved himself, the king said, you know what? I see how strong you are and how royal you are. Now, I'm going to give you her to marry you. That was the matana. Right? What's the nimshal? The Yetzer Hara comes and is the whole time tempting us. But really, what the Zohar says, the Zaina that the Zohar Kodesh talks about does not want that the king's son should fall into the trap. He wants that the king's son should be loyal to the king and prove it. He knows anyways at the end I'm going to be his. So don't fall into it now. The Yetzer Hara knows the whole time as he's tempting us, he doesn't really want us to fall into the trap. The Yetzer Hara is hired by the Eibishter, like the Zoina. The Yetzer Hara is hired by the Eibishter Kiviyachol. Bring out the greatness of my children. Bring out the loyalty of my wonderful Am Yisrael, B'nai Yisrael. That you could go for who knows how many years since the creation of the world, the Nachash, and you're making them crazy all day and all night. And look what Bali Tshuva there. Look how beautiful. Look how much Torah is being learned. Look how much mitzvahs are being done. No goy can stand it for a second. Anybody else, they're all out. They're knocked out. They fell to the lowest of who knows what. How do you show so many years the Yetzer Hara is chasing us and making us crazy, and one idea doesn't work, it comes up with a greater idea, and there's still beautiful Yidden that are keeping Torah and so loyal to the Eibishter. So at the end, Kiviyachol, we're going to see that our best friend, our greatest guy, was really the Yetzer Hara. Sometimes though, we have to remind him of his job. Sometimes he's loving this idea, right? He's like, got permission to do havoc. He's got permission to drive everybody crazy. It's nice and power. You got permission, right? Sometimes you watch these kids, you give them like a job, to give a ticket somewhere, to give a nash at some event, at a birthday party, and all of a sudden they become like the president, like, you not, you yeah. Like, who asked you to do that? I told you to give everybody. But the person gets carried over, right? They're like, no, this is amazing. I have power. I can do what I want. The guy gave me all this to give out, right? So the Yetzer Hara sometimes gets lost in his mission. He's like, this is a So sometimes we have to put him back into place. We got to scream at the Yetzer Hara. We got to let him know, buddy, what are you doing? You're going to pay for this. That's not your job to actually bring me into the dumps. Your job is to entice me. My job is to kick you in the pants, to get you out of here. But that's how we work together. Not that you're supposed to pull me into this Aveirah Chas v'Shalom. So therefore, says the Tanya, if you understand this mashal, then you understand why it works when you give him a peace of mind, because it's a real nefesh. Just two nefashos. Everybody's made out of two essences. We have a neshama, which is a chelik lekami mal mamish, and we have another essence within us, shtei nefashos. That's the other part of the nefesh habahamius, which is trying the whole time on my bottom left essence of my heart to try to pump it to my blood, nisyonis, but I got to fight him the whole time. And when he's getting carried away, it's an essence of reality. It's not one essence that a person is dancing, like Chazal say, I'm hopping on both feet. Right? Like we said before, that the reason why we can't uplift, these inappropriate thoughts in the higher spheres is because we still got one foot in the mud. Right? When a person, here we have two entities of Metzias. We have within us a minister of Toiv, A minister that all he wants is Yichud Hashem the whole time. We have another minister the whole time. He also wants that, but he does it in a different flavor. He's making us crazy in order to bring out the koich of the Yetzer Tov. So sometimes when he's going off limits, and I'm starting to slip on that banana peel, I gotta say, hey, stop! What are you doing? You're being bad. You're going against your Creator. You're bringing me down. That's not your job to bring me down. You're supposed to bring me to the test. Give me the test, but don't make me flunk. And the second I do that, all of a sudden the Yetzer Tov, whoa, the Yetzer Tov gets the higher hand, because you know what happened? The Yetzer Hara runs back into his shell. He's like, some guy's chasing me with a bat. Whoop, I'll stay quiet for now. That moment the Yetzer Tov is like, wow, thank you Hashem. And it's an opportunity for a person to get up and overcome and be great and do great things. This brings us to the next parak in Tanya. That is another Eitzah. Like we said, we're going Eitzah after Eitzah. Every piece of advice in Mamush, how to utilize the most of our neshama and understand that everything that happens within us, the Ra within us, it's just a fight. Another mahalach. This is what the Tanya is doing in this program right now. Is telling us that we're not crazy. One moment, all I want to do is sit in Besmedrish all day and serve Hashem, the biggest Vegas, under a talus and tefillin, sleeping in the mikveh with shas and gemaras, you know what I mean? Like crazy, right? The other second, I want to be the biggest balaveir. Oh my gosh, I'm nuts. No! Tanya, you are perfectly healthy. You're an amazing Jew Beinani. You're great. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. The Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara. You gotta fight. You just gotta fight until you win. And sometimes you lose, but get back up. And continue to fight. You're at a battlefield. This is the Eitzes. It's giving us literally, right? Well, what's that game? Strategy? What's it called? Stratego. He's giving us the strategies of how to be a successful soldier in the army of Hashem. How to mamish, you know. So this is another Eitzah parak lamed. I'm going to give you now another piece of advice that will help us fight Yetzer Hara, and that is based on what the Holy Mishnah tells us: be humble in front of your fellow man. What does that mean? What does the Mishnah say? The Mishnah says like this: Hevi shval ruach, be humbleized b'fnei, in front of all of men. All, why can you say b'fnei adam, before men? What are you implying for kol adam? What is the word kol? You tell me a fact, yeah? Humbleize yourself before men. I got it.
Well, even before someone that I wouldn't have thought.
Take it? Be'emes lamitei b'fnei kol adam mamish. Tanya is saying what the Mishnah is implying: be humbleized. Afil b'fnei kal shebekalim, the lowest of the low. Spoke about this earlier. Yeah, being able to give everybody their cover, their honor. Because why? Because you have to judge everybody favorably, understand what's going on, and we're going to see in a second. He's going to say that in a second. Even before b'fnei kal shebekalim, how in the world can you honor this guy? Sinner. That guy, I'll never ever look him on the nose. Never. You know what I mean? You humbleized in front of him? Yes. Why? Because how can I make humbleization b'fnei kol adam if I know what the Mishnah says weiter? The Mishnah says as well, Al taden es chavercha, do not judge your friend until you reach his position. If you're not in his shoes, you have no idea what he's going through. And his Yetzer Hara activities, the Nisyonis and the test, or what Hashem is, but if you don't know him, so how in the world could you judge his situation at all? Ki mekoim, what's the pshat of mekoim? It's such an interesting place. Until you reach his place. His place. Anyway, so move out, I'll stand in your place. What I mean, you live over this. I'll go. What does it mean, his place? Because you know what his place means? That makom, at that level, really. Because he says that it's his place that caused him to sin. If I'm not in his place, what's the matziv? He gives an example. Let's say, imagine a guy. He's selling, we're not judging anybody, everyone of this big tzaddik. But imagine a guy sells some spices in a shuk. Imagine he sells spices in a shuk. He's going shopping all day. Beautiful woman. Going shopping all day. I have parnasa. I got to support my family. This is my profession. So I'm in the shuk. So the Yetzer Hara goes wild. Brings all these women to the room and have to have masa mata between them, right? I wouldn't have any customers if I'm like, that's the third to the left, take a grab. No, I can't do that. I'm working. I'm not looking. I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to be doing. But the Yitzhara knows how to ignite the fire. Masa mata, I'm in the office, so scared, right? Kol hayoyim, well, yes, me Yoshvi Karadas, ain't of Royas kol ha'tayim, so his eye see all the temptations. Oh my gosh, my eye in Roya, the eye sees Halev Choymed, and my heart gets all enticed. Yitzhara boyer katan or boyar ufa. And my Yitzhara is burning like a fierce fire that bakes. You know those bakery ovens back in the day, the stone ovens? The whole thing, you put a matzah in the matzah oven, it gets done 0.3 seconds, it's burnt. The fire is as hot as anything. Like it says in Rabbi Yeshaya, I'm the guy sitting in the medrash, we're sitting here learning now, and we're going to judge the guy that's in the office and the workplace? I want to see you go there. Let's change places. Take the guy, put him up his medrash. You go start selling the spices in the shuk, and let me see you big talkers stay machshavas kedoshos the whole day in yichud.
The two malachim, right? Who came down and said, "Oh, it's easy."
That's right. Oh boy, they messed up. They became the worst. The worst existence. That's right. Exactly. Mom, this is. They didn't know this parak. They're like, people aren't a big deal. They came down here, right? Mashain came. Mishoilch b'shuk ma'at. That's another guy. He goes an hour a day. He sells something. Nobody really comes by his shop. A little bit. Most of the day he sits in his house. He's learning. That is another guy that even if his day, if he has to sell things in the shuk all day, you can have another kind of person. He's not so hot-blooded or warm-blooded. He's a cold guy. He doesn't care about nobody. He can sit there with the woman, selling whatever they want. Doesn't turn on because they wish to make him different. So the guy's a holy man? No, that guy, they wish to create him. Everybody's got a different type of yitzhar. Everyone's got different things. Yes, there's another guy that he gets enticed by this type. There's another guy that can't keep his mouth yapped closed. Everyone's got a different kind of yitzhar. So therefore, you can't judge anybody because we don't know what's going on internally or what the situation is or what they're, everybody's got a whole different existence, a different mekoyma. V'hini be'emes, gam yishu mechuma ma'oid b'tivai. U'parnasasa Julius Moshe v'kornes kol hayoyim. Even a fellow that his mamish, his blood's always boiling in taiva. And Nebuch, this guy felt to the parnasa that he's got to be in the shuk all day. So his mamish, right? And all day he's at the corners of the shuk. That doesn't give him a heter chas v'sholom to fall to sin. Of course not. Everybody understands that. Is he sins? He's a Russian gomer. Because there's no fear of heaven. What do you mean? If you know your situation, that's not good for you and you're falling to sin, get another job. Now, because he's coming to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, now he's talking to the fellow himself. Not just because we make everybody judge you favorably, you're like, I'm good, I'm going to sell women's clothing, and I'm just the holy guy. No, chas v'shalom. You got to use your cycle. You have to have pachad alikim. It's not a terrorist. I saw many times, people ask these letters, they write to tzaddikim, that they work in the workplace, women are asking to work in the police. So change your job, chas v'chalila, Hashem yirachim. If a person's going to fall to such a virus, that's not our job to judge him, but now we're talking to the actual person. What is life? You know what I mean? Another job, and fakert. Chazal already tell us, when a person does that, that's the biggest bracha in the world. You do something with a serious nefesh. Person could say, I know a story of a guy, right? He was offered a job. I'm not going to go into details. His job was to rob another company. A competitor. That's how it works. A regular full-time paid job. A whole office doing that. Now, online, you order from here, order from there, make false orders, make them look bad. Mom's like, literally robbing the other guy. It's full-time. A lot of people do their job and get paid nicely. You know what I mean? The guy's like, I'm training myself to become a gangster. I'm training myself. It was a very nice job. The guy's like, listen, I can't do this. I can't just sit here being a crook the whole day. Even if I know some of my kids. So what happened was he went and he got another kind of job which was way less paying, But at the end, the bracha that came his way was Nar Nerais. Tremendous, tremendous, tremendous. Uncomparable. Why? Mesiras Nefesh. He had a type of Nisayan. Major Nisayan. Major Nisayan. Right? We could be down the Kafschutz 100%. Guy's got to support a family, you know? I always say a funny story. Maybe it's not for the recording, but I'll say it anyways, because of course everyone knows that it wasn't for real. I was very close with a very big tzaddik. This guy had the biggest amuna. He's a very holy man. He lived with nothing more than just his Torah and his farm. Anyways, once I went over to him. He's not around for many years already. And I told him, I said, Rabbi, Mamish, I need a bracha, I need some parnasa, what should I do? So he closes his eyes and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you an eitzah, but you got to follow it through. I'm like, no problem. He's like, shh, I want you to go rob a bank. So I'm like, Rabbi, done deal. Just bless me, I'm not going to get caught. You know, I'm going to do it. He's like, no, you got my blessing. His wife from the kitchen heard. She came running in. She's like, what? What are you telling this guy? No way! Chas v'sholom! He was rolling. I was rolling. I understood him. We were joking. You know what I mean? But he's like, oi, Nebuch, you never pronounce it. Let go rob a bank, right? Sometimes people think like that. Ah, what am I supposed to do, right? Robin Hood. Rich, you have much money. You know, so I go steal. You can't. We don't work like that. You know what I mean? It's not the mitzvah. It's just because I'm a chumah betayve. You know, Nebuch, I have to work. No, so get another job. They still help, huh? That's not us judging. Now we're talking to the fellow himself. That's what he's saying. Because our job is talking with the Dalek. That's how I can respect everybody. Even I know a guy that's mamish, but Nebuch, what if I was in issues? What if I had Nebuch, 19 children and it's the only job I could do? You know what I mean? I'm Baruch Hashem, my kids are not dying. I have to, you know, his deal with the Eibush is his cheshbon. But me judging him, I want to see you go in that situation. See how successful you'll be. As you know, the story's read from before. Usually, the guy's much more successful than you'll ever be. That's what the Eibush they gave. Like we know already, Chazal said that nobody gets an assignment that they can't overcome. No such thing as an assignment came to the wrong address. There is no such thing. Chazal told us. The Eibush did not give every assignment that comes my way must be. There's a famous story with the Holy Rishon. The Holy Rishon. It was from Rishon. The Holy Rishon had a story. He was a business fellow that he was making a lot of money. He was doing some great dealings, and all of a sudden it came to him a message that his ship sunk with all of his goodies. The guy fainted, mamish, on the spot. All my parnasa just lost like that, and they came to revive him. And he's like, what went on? They're like, sorry to tell you, and he fainted again and again. The guy was like, mom's going into, you know, how do you say it, comatistic? Like, he was going into a coma forever. They ran to the Holy Rishon, and they're like, listen, the guy, we can't get him out of it. He's dying, you know. So the Holy Rishon said, tell the fellow when he wakes up that it was a mistake. Everything is okay. But they ran back to this fellow. Like, he was about to fall again. They're like, no, it wasn't your ship. Your ship is great. And he quoted himself. And afterwards, they found out that it wasn't his ship. And they came to the region. They're like, wow, what a moifus, what a nest. The guy's ship, and then you unsunk it. He's like, no Ruach HaKodesh over here. Simple facts. Like, huh? What happened? He said, we have a rule that the Chazal taught us. A person does not get an assignment that he can't overcome. If this guy had such an assignment and he was dying, you know, there was a riot that it wasn't his, that it couldn't have been true. Because nobody, it's a moedik amaisa, right? Nobody gets in this sign. A person's like, write up this one. Oh my gosh, you can't just send me this taiva. No way. No. You could. But either learn some Tanya quickly, get the H's that you need to push where the H's are, or scream at the Eibush, or scream at him. But the Mitzvah says, everybody, so therefore the Heilig of Tanya is saying that there's no such thing as a person, right? That you can't judge him favorably. You can judge everybody favorably. Nachum, he has to put it over you because the guy studying this is like, oh yeah, if so, I'm going to get some job and who knows. No. That you that have the Nisraelis, if you fall, Rosh Gomer, because you have no fear of heaven. Person has to be able to, be moishel over his taiva, be able to conquer his taiva in his heart. Focus on Pachad Hashem, fear of heaven, realize that Hashem sees everything. You got work to do, buddy. They're not off the hook. But the truth is, it's a huge mulchama. It's a huge mulchama. This isn't simple stuff. Yeah, it's just like, it's so easy. Well, Tanya's giving us a lot of love now. He's telling the guy, listen, buddy, shape up. But then right away he's like, I'm not saying it's easy. Yeah, oh boy, the Muhammad Gadayla. Huge war. And it's huge. You got to break its heart. That's burning. Right? That's burning. Right? We got to break its heart. Use the fire, the fear of heaven. Come on, say mamish. V'hilguch tzarich kol adam ufi mashu u'mekoymai u'madrigasa b'vedis Hashem nishkol livchem atzmai im hoevet Hashem berach u'b'chnas mucham atzum kazu v'nesayin kazeb b'chnas asay tag b'vedis. He's saying every fellow. Again. We have to remember, we're staying focused on the Tanya, what he's telling us. He's giving us strategy how to fight war. A person, part of fighting the war is remembering that it's a war. The number one thing is remember that you're at a war. And like I said to Miss, you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? You're at war. The Yitzhar is coming and burning typhus at us. Don't fall into Yish and say, I don't know, just lost case. Remember, oh my gosh, retaliate. The Yitzhar is at my case, I'm at war. And the person has to make a cheshbon and nefesh then. Think about it. If I'm mamish being bitten by the nachash, if the snake is all over me, biting me, and giving me temptation, let me make a cheshbon. Am I focused enough on my Yiras Hashem? Am I focused enough that I believe that the Eibishter is someone that is ayin roya, his eye sees, ois and shemas, he's writing everything, he's with me, he sees. Maybe I should contemplate the Mishnah a little bit more. Because I'm feeling mamish, conquered by the Yitzhar. So that means that I gotta, right? Any army knows if there's too much sabotage in one area, make an emergency meeting and figure out what went wrong and fix it. That's all that's going on. The Yitzhar is over you. Don't say, I'm done. I'm just a failure. No, make an emergency meeting with yourself, the Yitzhar, with the Yitzhar. Call them both sides. Let's get them together. Make a ceasefire. What's going on? Let's re-cheshbon. Why is the Yitzhar going nuts on me? I have many answers to that. Maybe I'm looking what I shouldn't be. Maybe I'm acting like I shouldn't be. Maybe I'm not learning enough. Maybe I'm not making enough. I'm not talking to Hashem enough. Not being misboided. The real, what does misboided have to do with this? Because misboided puts the reality of the existence of Hashem into my life. That this is real. Hashem, I'm talking to you. Oh my gosh, the Yitzhar is all over me, God. What am I supposed to do? Please help me. You know what I mean? Or maybe I'm not fearing him enough. Start making some avodah. Start making a milchama. Start making war. Strategize your milchama better. And then a person, right? Maybe the same thing with kavonas and tefillah. So maybe I have to add some vitamins. If a person, many people, right, they feel very weak. They're like, I know what's wrong with me. Go to the doctor. You got to add some barzel. You got to add some iron pills. I say toiv. Do some good. Maybe I should have more kavanah by davening. Maybe I should pour out my heart to Hashem a little bit more. Maybe my concentration on learning a little bit, mishnayis a little bit more. There's what to do. It doesn't mean that I'm mamish off the hook because I have a big Yitzhara. The opposite. Remember that there's a war. I remember to strategize and make cheshbonos and think and figure out, why is there such craziness in my life? Why is the Yitzhara all over me like that? Why? And when a person starts working and realizing there's a mulchama, and he'll be matzliach. He'll start having the hasaga and the reality that I can do this. I can do this. I can. And I will. I'll be matzliach. And there's a way. Torah guaranteed us. Barasi Yitzhara. But at that same time, Barasi Torah Tavlin. I made a spice the Yitzhara. Barasi Yitzhara. Barasi Yitzhara. But Barasi Torah Tavlin, the antidote, the vaccine against the Yitzhara, is Torah, Kedushas, Boinanus, Rachnius, spirituality. So if I'm feeling at loss, this is for the fellow again. Judging, for me to judge Yenim, I have no idea what's going on. I respect everybody. I don't know. Who knows? If I would be in this place, it would probably be much worse. But now me that isn't that place, maybe I have to strategize. What's going on with me? A little more is Boinanus. I always say over, and I'll end with this. This is already my own addition, but it's really based on the Rizal and more. The Rizal says, a person doesn't get back his full neshama until he answers Baruch Hashem Mevarich Li'olam V'ed. Baruch is very important because a person is zoiche then that he gets his full neshama.
Morning,
Morning and at night, both. You get but in the morning it says first. You don't get, then you bring it back up. In the morning you get it back. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Li'olam V'ed is how even if a person learned Torah, it says the result. But if you didn't answer Baruch Hashem, Baruch Li'olam V'ed, I'm missing light in my soul. But I didn't say Kedusha. Kedusha, Kaddish Hashem. You know what it says? You know what it says that happens? My soul becomes infused with the holiness of Hashem. Many people, I tell them, what's going on? You're feeling maybe you have to check your vitamins. You have to take a blood test. You have to see what vitamins. Maybe I'm not learning. Maybe I need some more Gemara in my life. Maybe I need some more Chassidus in my life. Maybe I need some more. There's always, when a person is Me'or in himself, a person has to make a cheshbon nefesh. Maybe I didn't wash Negelasser. And there's a Torah Tavlin. If you have it's a horror that's biting you, so Torah Tavlin. Take out the Torah and say, I see, okay, I got a bit better here. Make cheshbon nefesh. Take this 5 minutes a day. Make cheshbon nefesh. Where can I be a better year? Where can I do? And according to my level, I'm not saying extreme. I'm not saying all of a sudden now. I'm saying everybody by themselves. You have to, the army all of a sudden can't bring all its tanks to one function and everything else involved. But make some moves. Make some moves. Make some moves. But the Torah tells us, well, Tanya is telling us over here, that remember, it's a war. You're not at loss. It's another Eitzah. You'll do this. Strategize. Be matzliach. And we'll be zeicha to soar in spirituality and vekas amitius. Amen. Amen.